with breaking news.
Yeah, we are following some breaking news in Lake County.
Yeah, the sheriff is giving an update on a deadly ambush where one deputy was killed. Let's listen in.
Today is Mr. Bill Gladson, the state attorney for the 5th Judicial Circuit, State Representative Keith Trunow, Detectives Josh Mercer and Adam Basquette from our agency's Major Crimes Investigative Unit, and Sheriff Peyton Grinnell. We are here to announce that earlier today, our warrants unit arrested 48-year-old Julie Sopizio on an arrest warrant that was obtained by our detectives for her role in the murder of our beloved friend and co-worker, Deputy Bradley Link, and the injuring of our deputies Stefano Gargano and Harrell Howell. Julie was taken into custody today at approximately 1:45 p.m. at Advent Health Waterman Hospital in Tavares, where she has remained since being taken there Friday night for treatment and evaluation. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Sheriff Peyton Grinnell to provide further details. Sheriff.
Thank you for being here. Before I get into the results of this investigation, let me pause and say thank you. Thank you for the tremendous support from our community, from our clergy to our restaurants, our citizens, our federal, state, and local elected officials, to all of my fellow sheriffs across the state. Thank you for your support. Our sheriff's office family is hurting, and all of you are helping us through this horrific nightmare. I can't thank you enough for the support. It is felt, and it is much needed support, so thank you. This is going to be a little long, but I need to tell the story. The Lake County Sheriff's Office received a 911 call at 1945 hours on August the 2nd, requesting law enforcement to respond to 38226 Brookside Drive, Eustis, in reference to a female in his yard assaulting people that were present and trespassing on the caller's property. This turned physical as the trespasser, later identified as Julie Sopizio, began striking the complainant's wife, his father, and others. The complainant stated she was acting religious, accusing them of being sinners, and she knows what they did. They identified Julie Sopizio as their neighbor, but Julie states that she is Helen under God's will. At 1958 hours, Corporal Owens arrived on scene. Julie Sopizio approaches Corporal Owens with her hands concealed behind her back. She was given a command not to approach and to back up by Corporal Owens. As she walked into his outstretched hand, this prompted Corporal Owens to unholster his taser, briefly pointing it at her until she took a few steps back. Two of the victims that were present with Corporal Owens and with the complainant in close proximity. During a calm verbal exchange, Julie Sopizio states that they, meaning the group of people that were present there, were involved in pedophilia. She again claims to be Helen, and she asked one of the victims that she had battered, "Who is your God?" Julie Sopizio stated to them that Julie is in heaven. She then went on to state, "You see, the thing is, we needed to trick Lucy," and we later learned to be a name she calls Lucifer. She then points at Corporal Owens and states, "You were one of them." She continues by stating, "See, we needed to trick the evil to come out." One of the victims explains that Julie Sopizio wanted them to walk in front of her to her house, but they didn't trust her. The victim asked her, is Michael okay? And Julie stated, "Oh, see, he sent me down here." The victim states, "Oh, did he?" Then Julie says, "Yes, my husband, my God." Julie Cepizio again attempts to convince them to go to the house to see. She states, "Yes, Michael, I am coming," and begins to walk towards Corporal Owens, which puts out his hand to block her, to which Julie pushes Corporal Owens' hand away. Corporal Owens steps rearward, raises his taser, and gives her a warning. And the taser emits a piercing audible tone and a flashing light as he points it at Julie. And she stated to Corporal Owens, "That's God's light," and approached him with her arms crossed on her chest, smiling. Corporal Owens redirects her rearward, causing her to fall to the ground on her back, tells her to stay down, at which she resists. He ultimately holsters his taser and produces his handcuffs, applying control to Julie's right wrist. As Julie Cepizio states, she stated, "You want to play? You are just making me madder." Julie on her back states, "Let's do this now," followed by, "I can feel him," and yells out, "Michael, Gabriel, Timothy, it's time now to protect my children." As another deputy arrives, the responding deputy handcuffs Julie. At 2010 hours, Sergeant Stevens and Corporal Owens arrive at Julie Cepizio's residence, which is walking distance from the original incident location, to conduct a well-being check on Michael and Julie Cepizio's children. Announcements are made at the door, and contact was attempted to no avail. Sergeant Stevens observed 3 individuals inside run, and that one looked at him as they passed the shut door. Corporal Owens also finds 2 small dogs deceased in the front yard. A loud banging, approximately 4, was heard but could not be identified or located. Corporal Owens identifies an open window on the east side of the residence with the screen kicked out, raising his suspicion about the well-being of Michael and other occupants inside. Corporal Owens asked for additional units to respond while he and Sergeant Stevens hold the perimeter. They believe that this incident may have involved a burglary or a home invasion of some kind. As additional deputies arrive, they are briefed on the details. Deputies positioned marked Lake County Sheriff's Office vehicles in view of the residents and activated their blue warning lights. Master Deputy Link begins making multiple announcements over his PA, identifying themselves and calling out to the residents. Deputies, along with supervisors, attempted to formulate a plan to make contact with whoever was inside, which had not been identified at that time. Corporal Owens interviews the neighbors, which stated that they observed Julie Cepizio and Michael Cepizio exit that white truck and go inside around 1830 hours. Corporal Owens gets Julie Cepizio's phone number from neighbors, and the deputy attempts to call her mobile number. Julie's phone was not on her at the time of the original incident that I described, and it was believed to be inside the residence, possibly with Michael. An attempt was made to call the phone, which went straight to voicemail. The neighbors stated that Michael said, "The next time I see you, I'm going to shoot you," while speaking to the neighbor's children, and this was a few days prior. At 21:03 hours, Master Deputy Link, along with Master Deputy Howe, Sergeant Stevens, and Master Deputy Kessinger, attempt to enter the residence while making announcements. They enter through the rear door of the residence, which is closest to the driveway and appears to be used for ingress and egress. As they opened the door, it entered into a small laundry room, which led to an intersecting hallway that led left and right. Master Deputy Link, as he approached the threshold of the hallway, advised he was going left indicating to Master Deputy Howell he should go right. As Master Deputy Link crossed the threshold into the hallway, his body-worn camera captures several frames of what appears to be a male in black sleeve shirt or body armor, positioned with a rifle on the arm of a couch, waiting to ambush deputies. Master Deputy Link does not see this, as he is focused on moving left and the camera's pointing straight. But as he's focused on moving left, as he indicated, and he enters the hallway with his back to the suspect, believed to be Michael Sulpizio. Multiple gunshots were fired, likely rifle rounds, from the area that the suspect occupied, striking Master Deputy Link in the back, causing him to turn and fall. Master Deputy Link is struck multiple times and attempts to suppress the threat with gunfire. During this event, Master Deputy Howell is also struck in the wrist from a projectile that came from the area of where Michael Sulpizio was positioned. Master Deputy Howell, Sergeant Stevens, and Master Deputy Kessinger were forced to retreat out of the residence. Master Deputy Link was immobilized, suffering multiple gunshot wounds, and he attempts to crawl on his back to cover, but was unsuccessful. Master Deputy Link had exhausted all rounds in his duty weapon. In hearing his ID being called over the radio, moves his hands in what appears to be an attempt to respond to the radio, but was unsuccessful. Master Deputy Link was shot at several more times, and it appeared that he was struck by additional rounds. Someone within the residence began shooting at deputies outside, which moved to cover and in turn returned fire. Master Deputy Howell was extracted from the scene and transported to the hospital. Additional resources were requested, as well as additional deputies. While waiting for additional law enforcement, deputies and supervisors on scene attempted to negotiate with the suspects to release Master Deputy Link, but the suspects refused. Master Deputy Link's body-worn camera continuously recorded audio and video from within the residence facing up towards the ceiling. At 21:24 hours, a female yells from within the residence as she racks a firearm and states, "My king will kill all of you. You are Lucifer's children." This was in response to deputies yelling for Master Deputy Link to crawl to them. That's what they responded back with as we were asking Link to crawl to us. The deputies now cannot see Master Deputy Link, and his location within the residence is unknown. At 21:26 hours, Master Deputy Gargano, Master Deputy Green, Corporal Palmer, and Master Deputy LeBrecq, all members of our SWAT team, arrive on scene and organize a plan to rescue Master Deputy Link. Master Deputy Gargano was lead in using a ballistic shield as cover while moving through the laundry room into the threshold of the hallway. He was using a ballistic shield as cover as he was moving through the laundry room. As he approached the threshold, a volley of gunfire erupted from within the residence towards those deputies, in addition to deputies outside as well. Master Deputy Gargano was shot through the wall multiple times by a high-caliber round, causing him to be incapacitated. Master Deputy Green, Corporal Palmer, and Master Deputy LeBrecq extracted Master Deputy Gargano, which had been shot multiple times to cover and were actively being engaged by the suspects from within the residence as they were doing this. Heroes. Master Deputy Gargano was extracted from the scene, transported to CFR Sanford as a trauma alert in critical condition. Later, as SWAT is getting into position, a female could be heard mentioning suicide. This was captured on Master Deputy Link's body-worn camera. The racking and reloading of firearms within the residence could be heard, captured by Master Deputy Link's body-worn camera. 23:02 hours, 2 gunshots could be heard in quick succession, with a third one a few moments later. Our SWAT rook began to make entry into the residence, removing a large portion of the residence wall in an area where Master Deputy Link was believed to be. SWAT operators make physical entry into the residence. They locate Master Deputy Link and they extract him. Master Deputy Link is transported to an awaiting medical helicopter, but while en route, the transport redirects to Waterman Hospital, where he is ultimately pronounced deceased. And as SWAT cleared the residence, they located 2 females sitting on the couch with what appeared to be self-inflicted gunshot wounds to the head. These 2 females are identified as Cheyenne Sulpizio, 22 years of age, and Sylvana Sulpizio, 23 years of age. A male also located on the couch with what appeared to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head, but had a faint pulse. He was later identified as Michael Sulpizio. He was transported to ORMC as a trauma alert in critical condition. Michael Sulpizio ultimately succumbed to his injuries and was pronounced deceased at ORMC. A search warrant was executed on the residence, and within the residence in excess of 20 firearms, ranging from high-caliber rifles to pistols to shotguns, appear to have been gathered and placed and staged in the living room area. Ammunition had also been stockpiled in the living room. A search of the house showed gas masks, body armor, ghillie suits, medical bags, bug-out bags, MREs, and bottled water just stockpiled up. Throughout the residence, anti-government propaganda was observed, along with conspiracy theory-related media. During her interview, it was disclosed that Julie, claiming to be God, and often Helen, believes that God speaks through her. Julie stated that Michael is the guardian angel Michael, which obeys her, God's command. She states that she was trying to lure the neighbors to her residence so that Michael could kill them. She was not successful because of our deputies. At this time, I'd like to ask our state attorney of the 5th Circuit, Bill Gladson, to explain the charges, and then I will be back up here for questions and some follow-up comments.
Thank you, Sheriff. Good afternoon. As the Sheriff said, my name is Bill Gladson. I'm the state attorney here in Lake County. First, I'd like to express our deepest sympathies from the state attorney's office to our law enforcement family at the Lake County Sheriff's Office. The deputies and what you just heard is nothing short of heroism. They are absolute heroes, and enough can't be said about how they saved lives that night. So this afternoon, my comments have to be somewhat limited, and the sheriff went into good detail, and he and I discussed before we came out here the importance that it is for the community to know, to the extent possible, what happened. Because it's important that everybody know what these deputies face every single day that they go out and they keep us safe. So with that, I'll tell you that there was evidence collected, there was body-worn cameras that were watched, there were videos, there were interviews, and for the last 48 hours, His detectives and deputies have been working tirelessly to piece together exactly what you just heard the sheriff explain. And we now have a good idea of what happened, and that resulted in the arrest of Julianne Sulpizio. So her counts right now are a total of 12 counts. In this kind of case, where one count is first-degree murder of a law enforcement officer as a principal, we have to go to a grand jury. So we have 21 days in Florida after an arrest to convene a grand jury and present this case. And then from then, there's 45 days that the state attorney has time to investigate whether or not to seek the death penalty, since it is a death penalty eligible case. So I need everybody to understand, first of all, be patient as you are, and we appreciate it. Understand that we in this office, along with the sheriff's office, will do everything that we can to bring justice to the families of the victims, to the families of Deputy Gargano, Howell, and Link, and to the people of Lake County, because this was nothing short of an ambush, and the evidence will show that. It's absolutely just indescribable, as the sheriff alluded to earlier. So thank you, Sheriff.
John, would you give an update on our 2 employees that was hot off the press while I was
Yes.
on the state attorney?
Absolutely. So we do have good news to report on the conditions of our deputies. We've been obviously keeping a close check on Deputies Gargano and Howell and monitoring their conditions as they remain hospitalized. Deputy Gargano underwent his 3rd surgery today, and the procedure went very well. Therefore, we are obviously hopeful that he really begins to show some good signs of progress towards a full and complete recovery. At the end of the surgery, about an hour and a half ago, the medical team was expecting him to be able to speak and communicate freely on his own when he wakes up, and he is now listed as being in stable condition. Deputy Howell underwent a 2nd surgery on his arm today, and he should be waking up momentarily. He is also expected to make a full recovery to include full mobility of his left arm. And we just obviously covet everyone in the community to continue praying and lifting them up for just complete healing throughout the remainder of their recoveries. And we just received that, as the Sheriff said just moments ago.
Thank you, John. I also want to thank all of the law enforcement agencies that responded that night. There were many there, federal, state, and local. The response was unbelievable, coming together for that event. But I particularly want to personally say thank you to all of my employees. I know you're hurting, but please know that you're loved and appreciated, and this community loves and appreciates you. And together we're going to get through this. With that, I'll take any questions.
Sheriff, I've got a two-parter here. First, if you can help us with the map. How long was it between when deputies arrived on scene and when they approached Julie and that house? And then I'll start with that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, there was a little bit of time, obviously, because we were conducting an investigation there, but I'm sure we have that in our reports that we can hand out to you, the timeline. But thinking back, I can't give you specific right now.
That's okay. And
Yeah.
on that note, has in her interviews yet Julie said why, if the target was the neighbor, they decided to attack the deputies as they approached the house?
I don't have that information unless the detective does. I mean,
Julie,
come on up.
so during the interviews, Julie expressed that she was able to visualize a person's soul, whether it be white or black, and her job was to bring Michael dark souls for him to eliminate and terminate.
Sheriff, maybe this is a question for the state attorney. And by the way, our condolences from all of us at the
Yes, sir.
all of the entire community. How do you prosecute a woman who appears to be mentally disabled, deficient? Is she still being arrested currently? What's the status, and what do you do now?
So right now, we'll do an extensive investigation into any potential mitigation, any potential issues that she might have. But it's too soon to speculate about what conditions she may or may not have. And, you know, we have to follow the evidence, and we have to proceed where the evidence leads us, and those are things that will be dealt with at a later time, at a later stage in the process. No, I'm confident in the evidence that we've got.
So, in a related question to that,
Yes, sir.
It's one thing for one person to have mental disease. Okay. This appears to be a whole clouded household full of stuff going on. Do you find evidence of drug use? So did you find, besides anti-government stuff, did you find like literature, like devil worship?
So, I'm not the best person to speak to that, but I would actually ask that, unless one of the detectives knows in particular, that we probably shouldn't speculate about things we don't know yet.
Any drugs?
Yeah.
So inside the residence, after the search warrant was executed, we found medicinal marijuana. No other drugs were found inside the residence, just medicinal marijuana.
Detective, could you talk more about that anti-government propaganda and the conspiracy theory-related materials? Where was that?
There was bumper stickers, handouts, flyers for things like InfoWars, various podcasts. Nothing, no writings were found per se. We're still going through a lot of evidence at this time, so we're still looking at it and looking for more.
Is there any evidence to show this family was part of a bigger network, or was it just an insular household?
So our federal partners are running that stuff down for us now. We don't have anything right now as I'm speaking to you to show that, but they're still running those things down.
John, you mentioned the update on Deputies Gargano and Howell. Thank you, by the way. Would either of you share, this is for you too. If someone knows them personally, would you like to share a few words about it? We haven't heard much about them, who they are, what you'd like the community to know about them.
They're just like you. Caring people, devoted to their job, selfless, just love doing what they do. They love serving our citizens. And they're in great spirits. They took action right away, and for something bigger than them, and that's good stuff.
Did the two adult children in the household, did they ever go to school? Did we looked into their past? Were they isolated by their parents?
So in interviewing, and again, this is coming from Julie, the children, I refer to children, the younger adults in the house were removed from public school right around the time of middle school and placed into homeschool. Julie felt that it was best for them to be there so they wouldn't be exposed to other children, other beliefs, other structures.
Sheriff, at what point did Julie leave the scene, since she was detained and taken into custody on the Baker Act? Was she already gone from the scene when the attack on your deputy started, or was she still there? At what point did she leave?
Yeah, I believe she was taken from that scene. I wouldn't say a significant time prior to the shooting, but she
before the
correct.
First shooting
Yes.
started.
Were there any prior concerns in the community of this family and their anti-government beliefs and just kind of how they ran their household?
Yeah, I mean, we had a couple prior animal enforcement type calls there, but we haven't had anything of violence or anything like that.
And Sheriff, I know that certainly on a larger scale, the FBI keeps track of everything from militia groups to people that are showing up on radars as potentially dangerous. Does the sheriff's office and most sheriff's offices in Florida, do they keep an eye on certain groups of people, and were these people on part of that radar screen other than the animal control incident you mentioned?
Well, I will tell you the first part of your question. We have task force agents assigned with our federal partners for that information sharing, as well as plugged into what we call our Central Florida Intelligence Exchange, our Fusion Center. So we do know that there are those entities that are out there. This group was not on that radar at the local level.
You're referring to them as a group? Is it a family? Is it a cult?
What I'd like to refer to them as, I can't. But we'll call them a family.
Did one more on the children or adult kids, after they were pulled out, did they have any access to the outside world at all from what you're able to gather?
So that's part of our investigation. As of this time, it doesn't really appear like they did. Not traditional things you'd have with cell phones. They didn't have TVs, things like that. So they were kind of cut off from the outside world for the most part.
And were they adopted by both, were the two young women adopted by both Julia and Michael, or just Michael?
So, and correct me if I'm wrong, Detective, but Julia is the biological mom, and the father, Michael, adopted them.
Correct.
Okay.
When you conducted the interview with her, did she show any remorse, or was she joyful? What was her demeanor?
She was joyful. There was no remorse.
And I will tell you, my Marine unit was joyful too, because we used Master Deputy Link's handcuffs and his patrol vehicle to transport her to the jail.
Is there any surviving family who could illuminate more as to who this family was?
I'm not aware of any.
So we've been in contact with the family of Julie as well as Michael. They provided some insight, but for the most part, Julie and Michael have been pretty much cut off from their family by their own choice.
On the subject of Master Deputy Link and moving forward here, and we'll be handling funeral arrangements and stuff, but are there plans for more public memorial for him, or whatever the department might be doing to honor him permanently?
Sure. So obviously we're taking this day by day. In the last, and if a member of my staff can correct me while I was in the meeting with the state attorney if anything's changed, but I believe Master Deputy Link service is going to be this Saturday at 11 o'clock in Claremont at Real Life Church. And then there will be things after that. And so we will keep you posted through social media, et cetera.
Do any of the family have a criminal history?
The criminal history is very minimal at best. It's very historically in time. It's very minimal in scope. It's misdemeanor, minimal things happened a decade or more ago.
So nothing that would indicate that something like this could possibly be on the horizon?
Correct.
Is the funeral open to the public or just for family events?
I have not been given a definitive answer on that. I will tell you that it is our intent, if his wife Brittany is okay with it, and I don't know why she wouldn't be, to make that available to the public, as well as be able to do some type of live stream for it, for those who may be disabled or can't travel.
Sheriff, I've gone through a lot of information, a lot of detail here. I guess in the beginning, one of the first things you said was about this, being an ambush. Would you like to share, I don't know, maybe a closing thought with people at home who've been watching all this develop over the last few days about people who target law enforcement?
Yeah, something that staff and I and we struggle with. I can't explain the feeling you have of knowing you have a deputy sheriff that's shot up inside of a home and you can't get him out. The volume of firepower that even the rescue team, knowing what happened to the first two deputies, to form that rescue team that quick and go back in with a shield. That's bravery, okay? And they tried, but I don't know that a SEAL team could have got in there, to be honest with you.
On that vein, Sheriff, with the understanding that it's not illegal to be anti-government, it's not illegal to be cut off from your family, your household, and it's related like that, it sounds like this series of events, there was no attempt, there was no chance to interfere or prevent it ahead of time, but is there anything on that matter that the community can do, look out for to prevent a repeat somewhere else in the future? Or is this just a situation that...
Well, it's cliche. We in law enforcement are always stating if you see something, say something. And that's important. If you see something that doesn't seem right, call your local law enforcement. We'd rather come out and investigate it and it'd be nothing, and then instead of a week later, we've got another situation like this. To my knowledge, as of right now, speaking to you, we didn't have any warning signs that this family, would do something like this.
Has Julie been informed that her family is dead, and if she has, what was her reaction?
So Julie was informed on the first day that her family was found deceased, and her reaction was that they're free and they're in heaven now. Later in other interviews, she would say things like her bullets wouldn't hurt her or them, but she didn't seem to kind of grasp the concept that they were gone.
Now that she's in custody at your jail, Sheriff, is she under a suicide watch?
Yeah, she'll be in protective custody, isolated.
As for mental health for your own deputies, how are you guys going forward? How are you guys doing? Are there any resources for you guys?
Yeah, so it's a great question, and we've already started that process. We have a partnership with the University of Central Florida. It's called UCF Restores. They've sent their people here. We started that process immediately through rotation of our deputies, and it makes me feel good when I see them. Yesterday when I was out there to just greet them, I don't sit in on the meetings with them. That's for them. But I had over 80 on the first day, show up out there. So we want to make sure that their well-being is good. There's a lot of heads hung low here. There were a lot of people called in sick. We had to backfill some of our patrol spots the next day, and when I tell you this agency is hurting, we're hurting, but we're going to get through this. It takes more than just us. It takes our community, and our community's doing that. And I'm so thankful. Thank you.
All right. All set? All right. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.
Once again, you've been listening to a live press conference from Lake County about the death of a Master Deputy Sergeant there. And wow, I don't think I've heard a story like that in a long time. That was unbelievable.
We learned a whole lot there. Let's kind of walk you through what happened. The mother and wife of the three suspects found dead. Her name is Julie Sapizio. This all started because she was approaching her neighbors, trying to get them to come back to her house. And prosecutors say that's because she wanted her husband to kill her neighbors. She called herself God and said that her husband followed her orders. So when deputies showed up, they took her into custody. Then they went back to the home to check on her husband and their two daughters. There's Julie Sapizio right there. She is the one in custody right now. Eventually, she'll be charged with first-degree murder of a law enforcement officer, but a grand jury needs to be convened first. So the deputies went to her house. They saw some people running around inside. They went inside, and the sheriff says they were absolutely ambushed inside that home.
And when you heard how the ambush went down, it makes you even sick. But I will say this, had it not been for the body camera that Deputy Link was wearing, they may not have had any of this evidence because they heard everything, according to the sheriff, of what was going on inside. So as far as building a case, and if this case ever goes to court, because it sounds like there will be some mental health issues here, but again, that camera recorded everything that was being said inside, the gunshots and everything else. So thank goodness that body cam was still rolling at that point. But it does give us a whole lot more insight into this because we were on the air until, I believe, almost 2 a.m. Friday covering the story. And wow, it really does. It blows you away to hear everything that was going on. And by the way, one other thing, the people that the woman went to go see next door, we've spoken with them. We're going to talk with Stephanie Buff-Monty in just a bit. She spoke with them, I believe, yesterday, and we spoke with them today. They were about to be lured, possibly to be shot.
Absolutely.
That's unbelievable.
It appears that the family was waiting inside. So good news, 2 of the deputies who were injured are in surgery. They appear to be doing well this afternoon. We're going to have much more on this story coming up after a quick break.